it's the first time you people work together, and the first time that we invite you people together for the press conference. That shows the result of multiculturalism, the result of Philip's achievement.
It's great to see so many friends of long standing here and so many people who are aspiring to serve our community in public life. I must say, for me, it is a great privilege to have been invited to continue my service of some 43 years in our national parliament, working in our community. I live in northwestern Sydney. It was where I was brought up. It's where I have my substantial linkages, and I must say one of the reasons that I am involved in seeking public office again is that I want to serve the community to get a better outcome than we have seen in the relatively recent past. And I hope I can be a powerful advocate for our community to get better outcomes. I might share something of that with you in a moment. But I do want to say a little about Australia. There's been a lot of focus recently on the fact that we have people in Australia in public life who do have quite diverse backgrounds. You may or may not have noted some of the publicity. And some people are finding, because in our constitution there is a provision that says you can't have any other loyalty, and that's right, you shouldn't. You are Australian if you're in the Australian Parliament, and Australia is the country you are serving if you're in the Australian Parliament. But what it's brought out is that 25% of our population are overseas born. And if you add those who have a mum or dad born overseas, it's 50%. And that could almost mean that half the Australian population couldn't serve in the Parliament. It doesn't happen because you can relinquish any other allegiance, but it says something about Australia. There are only two other countries that have more of their population overseas born than we have. And they are Israel and Luxembourg. It's not even the United States or Canada or New Zealand. And you know, if diversity is a problem, we must have the most difficult social problems of any country in the world. If diversity is a problem. But it isn't. What we've been able to show is that you can have people from so many different backgrounds, so many different races, religions, cultures, all living side by side, and you can all be equally Australian. Now, the real measure of that is whether you can in fact play a part in our parliamentary democracy. And I am one that argues that we should welcome people from wherever they've come. If they've got the talent and the skills, they should be capable of being elected to the Parliament. Now, not everybody will have the chance. I mean, I can imagine everybody comes along and says, "Oh, select me." I say, if you've done the work and you've got the record, you will be wanted. And what we're seeing now in local government is the willingness of so many who have come from abroad wanting to serve our communities and to demonstrate their skills and their talents, and eventually it may even help them achieve other objectives. May. But what you see here today are people whose origins are Chinese, and that can be fairly diverse. You know, Steve Coe is standing with me. He's standing in Hornsby. He had to remind me that he was of Chinese descent. but he came from Indonesia. And there are many that have come from Malaysia, Singapore, Fiji, the Pacific, Indochina. Fiji, yeah. Cambodia, yes, I know. Indochina. Laos, Vietnam. You know, I mean, it is remarkable. People don't always understand the diversity of our Chinese community. I like to think I do. But I am very keen for that diversity to be part of our Liberal teams. And if you have a look at my brochure, you will see not only have I got Steve, but we've got some others who are from other parts of Asia, standing on the Liberal team. And what we have here, again, is the diversity of candidates that are seeking election all over Sydney. And many of them are of Chinese descent. Not all. I mean, I can cast my eye around and say, you know, there are a diversity of backgrounds. And isn't that great? And so, one of the things that I do say to my friends through the media, my friends of Chinese descent who have settled in Australia, not only can you aspire to office, but you have the opportunity to choose who are best able to represent your interests. Now, I like to think that the Liberal Party, a party that is very conscious of many of the values that those of Chinese descent understand. Support for families, small business, enterprise, creation of opportunity. You know, these are what the Liberal Party stand for. And I think if you ask people in the Chinese community what do they want to see represented in Australia, it is those who support the family as we understand it, who are focused on creating opportunities, who believe that if you've got the skills and the talents, you should be able to use them and are going to promote them. And I want to say to you that by choosing Liberals in the local government election, the one shared range of objectives we have is to serve you and to reflect the ideals that you see as being of fundamental importance, but to do so through our local communities. And so I'm delighted to be here as a candidate for Mayor of Hornsby, but to share the platform with many I know who are aspiring to be mayors and many who are aspiring to be aldermen, and if we've still got them, councillors, and focused on representing the broad Australian community. That's what we're about, and I am just delighted to be here with you. Now, I apologise that when I heard here, I hadn't acknowledged my friend and former colleague, Helen Shamho.
Thank you.
You know, Helen was one of those standard bearers many decades ago in demonstrating what people of Chinese descent can in fact achieve by aspiring to public office and then serving in public office. And Helen, we're delighted that you are.
Here today. My name is Christina Wu, and number one candidate in first ward in George's River Council this time. I've been councillor for 4 years plus 1 year as an amalgamated council with the committees. During the last term of the council, I was the chair of the multicultural committee and community safety committee, and also co-chair of the Lunar New Year committee. I joined the Liberal Party 5 years ago, and I always cherish and believe Liberal Party's values, principles, and beliefs. Our campaign slogan this time is working hard for the local communities. at the moment, I believe Hurstville has the major issues in Hurstville is traffic, parking, and community safety issues. So my vision for the amalgamated council in next couple of years are get more CCTV systems and also lightings for the crime hotspots, shopping centers, and also the areas near the train stations. Also, we want to implement a master plan for the commuter car parkings so that in different areas like Hurstville, Navi, Beverly Hills, and also Riverwood, we can have the multi-story car parks. For example, we have Tracy Street in Hurstville that is open car park at the moment, and if we can get multi-story car parks, that will help the parking problem will improve. Also traffic parking, and also we wanna get more parks, get the lightings for all our parking, for all our parks and sport queues, and to make in conclusion, to make the Hurstville is a vivid and a nice place for everyone to come and enjoy. We will improve the outdoor dinings. We will get some night markets to encourage people to come and enjoy. Thank you.
My name's Angelo Rosos. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the organisers, Hudson Chen and the Honourable Helen Chan-Ho, and also acknowledge my fellow councillor, or hopefully councillor, Marie Chan, that's running around. Applause for Marie. She's done a lot of work at Chatswood. I've been a councillor for 5 years, and I want to continue the good work that I've been doing at Chatswood, and that includes making Chatswood a vibrant, secure city, including things like making sure that it's easy for residents to park. One of the key things that I continued was to keep all our parking stations at 3 hours instead of 2 hours, saying no to parking meters. I want to continue the good work we've been doing around restaurants and making sure that Chatswood is a vibrant thing. I have a very similar story too to a lot of the people with the background, the Chinese people. My parents, I'm a son of an immigrant. My parents came from Greece. We settled in Chatswood. We had the local coffee shop. We had a small business. And as I door knock and I talk to a lot of the people from that are running these small businesses from Chinese backgrounds, I want to continue to make sure that they can thrive in Chatswood, they can enjoy to do business in Chatswood. Chatswood is open for business. We're going to continue to grow Chatswood, make Chatswood a wonderful, safe and secure city for all residents to enjoy. So I'd ask you to support myself for Mayor, and I'd also ask you to support Maria as Councillor. Thanks very much.
Born Chinese Australian with the descendant of PNG Chinese, so all over the place. But I reside in under Willoughby. The first day we arrived on the 11th of January 1977. So I have to say that because for the 40 years been here, been integrated very well in the Australian society. My number two, Katie. Katie actually born, reside, educated, and run a business called Dixon Music. It just closed because the parents are in ill health, but she is a local girl. In my third running as the third on the ticket, Wally Tinio, is a Tinio family, 5 generations in Australia. You know, in the gold rush, from the gold rush era. And all of us, 3 of us, are very passionate in serving the community. We care for you, we listen to your needs and interests, and then we'll work for you. And all of that, we don't serve the people that really elected us, but the broad interest of the whole community, because a lot of people we talked to and heard about were actually wanted us to stand. So this time we have a few issues which is very significantly, such as the overcrowded of Chatswood Public School. I know this is a state matter, but we were determined to knock on the door on Macquarie Street, and hopefully subsequently funding allocated to us has been achieved. Secondly, the overdevelopment, I mean, like something like Mandarin Center, it has a proposed height which overshadows the only park in this area. So this is something we can voice it for the residents and everyone around that neighborhood area. We have successfully, actually, when there is a plan goes up at the Legacy House for 9 level of 60-something low-income unit, all the neighbors were devastated, and they come to me. So I immediately called for a meeting with the councils and all that, and it subsequently stopped this development. So a strong local voice is very important for the residents, and that's why I run. Even though if I'm not in that, I still voice everything. I still bring my voice to council and help the residents. And there are a lot of other things that I need to tell the people about Chatswood is, and all the Westward people, or all the whole of Willoughby. We desperately need community nursing home, because we used to have a Chatswood community nursing home, now closed and turned into a luxurious apartment. So we lost so many beds, and we need the childcare. We need desperately childcare because the city is growing. You know, young family, someone that I know, like Katie, have only allocated 2 days in Chatswood and 3 days at the Castle Cove. So imagine the mother that cannot drive, how could they, accommodate with 2 days here, 3 days there? So we desperately need community childcare center. And then we, as it grows, the elderly also reside in my ward because they size down. So we must do some program for the elderly, such as a daycare center, but it's for free. Council does some charge $14, so I said I pushed for free, and then we need to have a program for the youth, because a lot of young people around getting a bit agitated with life, I think. So these are very important with what we are living in Chatswood. So for better Willoughby, better Westward, better Chatswood, besides safety, like what Angela was saying, but there are a lot of other things that we have to look into. And thank you very much.
Thank you to the organizer and the Honourable Philip Ruddick and the Honourable Helen Shen-Ho, who's the first Chinese-born parliamentarian. And my name is Amy, and I'm representing the Liberal team of Bayside Council Mascot. And first of all, to introduce myself a little bit, I run a small public relations company that helps to reach commercial needs of customers where they need to approach their target market. And that's the first time I'm taking the initiative of be as a representative and be part of this campaign. And just to look at our area, we Bayside have a lot of Chinese population, and we have a high density of heavily populated area like Woodline Creek. A lot of complex there, and we're looking at there's a lot of buildings. We need better traffic around the airports area. That's what we need to look at as well. And we also have a mixture of standard house, like a low density complex, that we also have to look at. So as a newbie on the ground, I'm more of trying to get more experience, and it is an absolutely great experience to be able to be as a running mate to Michael Naji, and who has 13 years worth of experience to serve the public in the council, and who also Ali Jafari, who's a local community pharmacist. I look forward to campaign hard, and look forward to see more wonderful candidates like Christina Wu and everyone else to win this battle. Thank you.